Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. Once again, back with another video. This one, well, it is funny, there's no doubt about it. But first and foremost, call halal Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, Ba'ashim Kokwadash, and of course, double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone, who through the Holy Spirit continue to teach us His truth. This is Nauman with the DC camp, and this video comes from newsbreak.com. This article here. From the Independent, and it says this stems from the Capitol riots, of course, January 6th. And let's go ahead and play this clip here if I can get it. Let's see. There we go. All right, as you know, me personally, I'll say it that way. I haven't heard them say they're going to charge any of these rioters with sedition. So I'm going to play this clip. Some of you might have seen this after this initially happened, but I'm going to play it again. That's Are you going to or are you not? Plain and simple. You see how Esau, don't want to give you a direct answer. Anyway, it goes on to say an out of control hearing for a suspect. All right, one of these he's talking about in the January 6th U.S. Capitol riot was abruptly cut short after the defendant reportedly unleashed a stream of obscenities over the phone at the court and then hung up. Let's go on a little further. It was the initial remote appearance before a judge of Landon Copeland of Utah, whom federal investigators say assaulted and toppled police during the violent insurrection on 6 January, which is another word for sedition, all right, insurrection. At its crescendo, Mr. Copeland screamed at the judge, "I'm a vet. You owe this to me. You've all fucked this up." All right, Washington-based investigative reporter for NBC Scott McFarlane live tweeted the hearing as the defendant continuously disrupted proceedings. Initially, Mr. Copeland reportedly shouted at the courtroom clerk while the call was being established. Things apparently began to go swiftly downhill from there. "This is getting out of control," tweeted McFarlane, with the hearing still minutes away as the defendant reportedly yelled at the judge, "Is any of this negotiable? I used to be a free man until you locked me up." During the hearing, for another defendant, Mr. Copeland apparently screamed, "I object," when a defense lawyer criticized Donald Trump. His phone was silenced, but he interrupted again when a lawyer for another defendant blamed Fox News for alleged radicalization of the insurrectionist, McFarlane reported. It was at this stage that Mr. Copeland reportedly screamed, "How long can I postpone this? I'm a vet. You owe this to me. You've all fucked this up. You're a robot to me. You can't come get me if I don't want you to." He continued to scream, "Fuck all of you. Fuck all of you." All right. McFarlane reports that he then warned the judge, "You can't get me if you want me. You can't kill me if you want to." At this point, the defendant was apparently placed in a breakout room on the call and the hearing was paused. As proceedings resumed, Mr. Copeland reportedly screamed, "Fuck all, y'all," all right, while arguing with the judge over the case number. McFarlane reports that attempts to mute him were unsuccessful as he kept unmuting himself. "Haven't seen this before," writes the NBC correspondent. Defendant just hung up on hearing. His lawyers say Copeland is in distress. I figured they were going that route. Copeland has screamed vulgarities at judge, complained about the taxes taken from his $15 an hour paycheck, and complained about the case number assigned to him. Mr. Copeland's attorney acknowledged that his client has previously expressed amusement at the charges against him. Upon re-entering the hearing, the defendant reportedly told the judge, "I'm not just going to listen to what you have to say. It doesn't work that way." The court muted him again, and he responded by once again hanging up. A discussion ensued as to whether a competency exam, if ordered, could be conducted in Mr. Copeland's home state of Utah, or if it must happen in Washington, D.C. McFarlane reported that Mr. Copeland appeared rattled by pre-trial detention. Salaki. All right. I figured they were going that route. See, that's what these devils do. Now he's got to be mentally diseased. He might not be competent to stand trial. All this mess. All right. But let that have been a Jake. He's from Utah here. All right. In this case. But I guarantee you he would have been pre-trial confinement. All right. First of all, that's a given. All right. But this guy gets to call in, gets to act all kinds of stupid. All right. But this is beautiful. All right. Because, again, this division has set in. So like it. All right. And this is all the things that these devils have done throughout the ages. All right. It's coming back. It's catching up with them, more or less. All right. And, apparently he's a diehard, in all caps, Trump supporter. All right. And again, more division. You're going to go to Mark 3rd chapter, start at 24 on down. This nation is heavily divided. All right. And it is, not might, it is headed to a civil war. And guess who's going to get always the worst of it? That's right. Our people. All right. Oh man, so here we go. Let's start at, this is a beautiful thing to see, so I'm going to start with this scripture here. This is Sirach 25. Scroll on down to 7. It says, "There be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy." This is happy time, if you're paying attention. "And the 10th I will utter with my tongue, a man that hath joy of his children," which you really can't say. All right. No. Please don't even try to form your lips to say that. All right. No, you don't. I mean, because in a larger sense, you send your kids out, you're constantly worried. All right. If not, another Jake going to do something stupid. All right. What about the popo? All right. Especially if he's a male. All right. So, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. And that's my point here. All right. Because, this guy's going down. And once again, I have to reiterate, it's a beautiful thing to see. All right. Because after all of what we've gone through, if you're not in that mindset right here, all right, this is Isaiah chapter 51, verse 14. It says, "The captive exile, which we are, hasteneth that he may be loosed, and that he should not die in the pit, nor that his bread should fail." All right. There's nothing for us here. We often bring up Micah 2 and 10, Hebrews 11th chapter, 15 and 16, Hebrews 13th chapter, 14th verse. This is not meant for us. This is not us. We're just spinning our wheels here, if that. All right. This is existing. This is not living. All right. I don't know what definition you have for living, but hopefully it's not what we're doing here. All right, now we go to Job 20. And okay, and of course the heading here, Zophar says, the triumph of the wicked is short. All right, and they may seem, in fact, let me read this. All right, let's see. It says, knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed on earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment? And of course, we know that these Edomites, these so-called white people, all these things and more. Let's skip down to 11. His bones are full of the sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust. As I said at the top, he's being exposed, all right, for what and who he is. And of course, with the truth, he does not like that. All right, so you're going to see more and more of them push, at least for heavy censorship on the internet, as you know, YouTube here, any little thing you say about that damn virus, you know, knowing that what we know about it, okay, if anybody's giving out false medical information, it's the establishment, because we know it's bullshit. All right, so yeah, let's see. His bones are full of the sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust. All right, let's go to Psalms 90 and 8. It says, thou hast set our iniquities before thee, our secret sins in the light of thy countenance. All right. Like I say, he's being exposed. All his crimes are more and more being brought to bear. And this is something that the world has known when it comes to our people. I did a video recently about Ho Chi Minh. All right, and if anybody remembers the movie, dang it, Dead Presidents. All right, there's a scene in there where they're in Vietnam, and Lawrence Tate's character, you know, they find these leaflets that say "Black man go home." Well, Ho Chi Minh, who was there, you know, for the North Vietnamese, you know, he was the man. Come to find out, earlier in the century, all right, he was involved with Marcus Garvey and some others, and even when he was I guess you could call it, well, I don't know exactly the term for his position, but I think he had something to do with a French newspaper, something like that. But even then, he had wrote about our people and how low we were and how oppressed we were, all right, and like no other, period, all right. So even they knew, but Jake has always got his nose and head up, well, his head up his oppressor's ass. In this case, we're talking about the so-called white man, you know. But yeah, and it goes on, it just says his secret guilt in his time of seeming righteousness, like secret poison, at last lays him in the dust. All right, and like I say, these things are, you know, his seeming invincibility, his demigod-like status in the world, being whittled away at. Why? Because the truth is coming out. All right. And a lot of other countries are finding out more and more how he fucked them over. But our main concern is us, of course, being he even stole our identity as Israelite. Well, he doesn't call himself Israelites. They call themselves Israelis. And Israeli just means an occupier of the land. Even if you search hard and long enough, you will find where they themselves know they're not the people that belong in that land. They've been playing a game, not so much a game, especially when it comes to us, because they took everything, even our identity. All right. Let's go to Micah. It says, woe to the oppressors. Micah 2:1, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. Going to Ezekiel 36 chapter, what does it say about aha? Even the, well, let me get it. I don't want to butcher it. Might as well start at the top. It says, the mountains of Israel to be blessed. Verse 1, it says, also thou son of man, prophesy unto the mountains of Israel, and say, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Most High Yahweh. Thus saith the Most High Yahweh, because the enemy hath said against you, aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession. Balfour Declaration. They coveted that for the whole time. All right. Let's see. Yeah, that was my point. So here you have a bunch of, and you wonder why the land over there is still cursed. It doesn't yield anything. They have to import stuff. All right. Because that land is cursed. And it's going to remain such until we're placed back over there by the Lord. All right. Not the Balfour Declaration, as the 48ers claim that prophecy was fulfilled. No. The prophecies do not identify them. It identifies us. All right. But back to this. Let's go. Let's see. I want to see if it had any. As usual, the ones you want comments to, they don't have it. But this is their attitude now, and you're going to see it get worse and worse to the point where they're just going to just start shooting Jake down the street. And you're seeing, as far as you think you're going to be able to call the police, all right, that avenue is quickly eroding away, because a lot of people don't want to become police anymore. All right, partly because they can't treat us like they used to. All right, or at least in their mind, because what? Everybody's got a cell phone. Everybody, therefore, got a camera on a cell phone. All right, and can take pictures and videos. All right, so it's not like in the old times where they could pretty much do with fuck us over and kill us with impunity. All right, so that discourages a lot of them now. But the thing is, this is being taken from you, your kingdom. Why? All right, let's get that. This is Sirach or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 10, verse. I will start at 7. It says, pride, the hubris of Esau. Pride is hateful before God and man, and by both doth one commit iniquity. And here's my point. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. And that's what's happening now. All right, we're in that process, as Yahweh Shah said in Luke 10 and 18. Let me get that real quick, about how he beheld Satan. Let's get it real quick. Falling as lightning. Here it is. This is Luke, and it says the happy results. All right. I'll just start at 17. It says, and the 70 returned again with joy, saying, Lord, even the devils are subject unto us through thy name. And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. All right. Meaning he's falling out of rulership. All right. And that's what's happening now. Let's go back. Did I miss anything there? Yeah. All right. Verse 9, it says, why is earth and ashes proud? Again, that pride. All right. There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. For such an one setteth his own soul to sale, because while he liveth, he casteth away his bowels. Habakkuk, second chapter. All right. Matches right up with this. This is who you're dealing with. All right. This describes in both of these his modus operandi, his MO. All right. And by these characteristics, again, you find out who you're dealing with. All right, let's see. Let's go to Revelation 22. All right. What we're getting here is why most Christians can't get it, because they don't understand that not everybody can be saved. That in and of itself, when it talks about Esau have I hated, all right, they can't get that. That alone, all right, in Hebrews 12, verses 16 and 17, where it talks about there's no repentance for these people. So therefore, that kills that Christian doctrine about everybody can be saved. What are you reading? The scriptures do not say that. There is a wicked, all right, as a nation that was set up. And Romans 9th chapter, just read the whole chapter, because that actually answers several questions in and of itself, that being one of them. All right. These devils cannot be saved. This is Revelation chapter 22, verse 11. It says, he that is unjust, let him be unjust still. And he which is filthy, let him be filthy still. And he that is righteous, let him be righteous still. And he that is holy, let him be holy still. All right. What we're, in layman's terms, what we're talking about when it comes to the nation of Edom, the so-called white people, as we know them, now they're mixed, all right, because you got such a thing as tares, all right? But we're talking about a spirit here. And what you're talking about in layman's terms is unredeemable qualities. There's nothing good about them. There's nothing remotely righteous about them. All right, so he got to go. And that's Obadiah, all right, verses 1 through 18, culminating in verse 18. He's the only nation, when you go into the Bible dictionary, that has no promise of mercy from the Most High, period. So in Obadiah, verse 18, they're going to be rounded up after 1,000 years of hardcore slavery and burnt up. How ironic. That's a Holocaust. All right. So back to this. This is a beautiful thing to see. All right. First of all, like I said, he's allowed to remain home. I don't know the exact conditions of his, whether it's house arrest or what, I don't know. But you know, this is not a jail. All right. All right. So once again, this is from the Independent through Newsbreak. This vet just went off at the judge, you know, because what? They're losing their country, and it's a good thing. So with that, hey, shalom. Stolen country at that. Shalom.